I don't know what to do.
What do you mean you don't know what to do?
I'm sad today.
Why are you sad?
I'm sad because I don't know what to talk about.
Yeah, you do.
This is going to be the shortest episode possible.
Why don't you just talk about the state of play you just watched?
I guess.
Oh, no. I know what I'm going to ask him about.
Why don't you let Victor be in charge this time, Victor? How about Victor runs the show? And he asks you questions.
Victor does run the show. I'll be like mid talking and then he'll interrupt me and then talk for like 10 minutes straight. And I'm like, I guess I'm going with this now.
Give the proper intro, Mr. Victor.
Hello and welcome back
There we go.
to Corpse Controllers, the show that's only BOCCHI memes. Do you hear me, Octavio? Only BOCCHI memes.
If I see a single meme that's not BOCCHI, you're fired.
I don't even know what BOCCHI is.
It's like the Josh memes. I don't know what's going on really.
Joining me as always is the cheesy counselor.
Yes, the cheesiest, Mr. Victor.
Alrighty.
And running the show is our Gizmo Gadget.
Oh,
That's not your
me.
nickname.
it's Victor.
What? We still need to find your damn nickname.
I thought you pulled the office.
Oh, I still need to do that. Oh, I know who I'm not going to pull, though. Our former colleague. He's going to have a cheeky thing.
You know.
He's going to be like, he who does not wear the garments.
Yeah, you know what I think would happen? When I reviewed that episode recently, you're asking your phone, you're like, hey, remind me to pull the office. And then it gave you an error.
Oh, that's why it never happened. I rely on my reminders so much.
That when they fell, you don't know. Oh, this is BOCCHI, by the way. Here.
BOCCHI. What the fuck is a BOCCHI? Oh, it's... I don't know what to make of this.
It's,
Wait, what the fuck? Why are the pages all backwards? Is she the game's last
episode
boss?
title, Man Discovers Mangas.
Bro, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
This is the...
That's the front.
Bro, this doesn't... Why is the barcode upside down?
You look like a caveman hitting rocks together.
They're like, this does not make ripe, juicy mangoes. I'm so confused.
Every time you flip it over, I lose it.
Well, because the barcode should be on the bottom, so I'm like, wait, but then when I hold the book, it's like this. Nicole, is this not how a book is supposed to be?
It reads right to left.
But it's upside down. No, that's not right. Every time I read a book, it's like this. The spine is always on the damn left. Why is this shit upside down is my first problem.
Perfect episode for BOCCHI only memes.
But then it's
BOCCHI.
like, again, the barcode should be on the bottom. What the fuck is it doing on the top? So then I flip it like it should be so that the spine is on the left. And now all of a sudden, everything's upside down. Not even to start with that, it's like so Nicole handed me I already forgot how she handed it to me. I think it was like this, right?
Right, yeah.
And I open it and I'm like, what the fuck? And I go to the front of the book and it says this. I am...
It's right to left.
And then it says ripe, juicy mangoes. I don't get the fucking joke.
Well,
I don't want to get hurt, so
a
I'll max out
twofold
my
joke.
defense.
just read it right to left, you
Actually say it.
you hooligan.
I am perturbed.
Like, see? The first... We're not doing this. No one can see what we're doing. We're not doing this. Okay. So anyways...
Yeah, back to the intro. So yes, I need to run the poll at the office to
Yes, of course.
get the name.
Either that or we should torture Kalen to name...
Oh,
all the
yeah.
other stuff.
Yeah, he should just come up with a speed nickname for it. Yeah, he'll do it. Mahogany's like here with us right now because of Kalen.
Mahogany's here to stay. Victor, how was your week?
Absolutely miserable. I broke my leg.
Right.
I mean, on my foot. And that's what it was. I broke my foot, my left foot to be specific. I was going downstairs in my backyard with the lights turned off, and I just ate shit. And then I go to the doctor the next day because I'm thinking like, oh, this hurts more than it usually does.
Right.
And I'm limping on my way there, and I'm like, fuck, this is what it's like to be 30. And then I actually go to the doctor, and I'm just thinking he's going to be like, oh, it's a sprain, just take some fucking Advil, you'll be fine. He comes back, he's like, oh, you broke your foot. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you're going to need a little foot boot thingy. And I'm going to need to use crutches. And I'm like, nah, bro. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt that bad. It inconvenienced my life with a boot and crutches. I've been there, done that, not about to do that again. So I have been flying high as a kite on Percocets, and it's been lovely. How was your week?
How did you get to the doctor without putting any weight on your foot?
Oh, I did, and it hurt like a bitch, and it still does.
Poor guy. My week's been great. Yeah.
Has it though?
It's one of those days where, or it's one of those weeks where it just says, you don't mind that it went by kind of fast, because like my schedule was, to be fair, my schedule's been fairly regular, but the following week we just exited. I've just been like, what day is it? I don't know. So now that it's over and I have like this reset where I'm back to my regular schedule, I'm just like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Familiarity.
Thank goodness for my weekend. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't really get weekends off, do you? You get weekdays.
Yeah, this is my weekend. And that's what also screws me up. When I get back, I'm just like, happy Monday, everybody. And it's like Thursday.
You're just about to be like when everybody else. I was actually just on the call about this earlier too, that the one thing I miss about our old job is having weekdays off.
Oh my God.
Because Saturdays and Sundays, let me tell you, the common folk are out in droves. As in, like, if I'm at Costco, that line isn't miserably long. If I'm trying to go grocery shopping, it's packed. If I'm just even trying to drive down the street to buy a piece of cheese, no. Traffic is just full stop. You know when I don't have that problem? Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. or even 2:30 p.m. But I learned my lesson to never do anything after 5:30 p.m. on weekdays. Because, again, that's when the common people come out. So, anywho, moving on. So,
all the common people. But yeah, Victor. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. What do we got on the table today?
Oh, so today, oh boy, do I got some fancy shit for you today. So, coming out of South Bobbington, specifically from the region of Staffordshire, I have the Halfpenny grain Bacchus. Now, that might sound like a whole bunch of English mumbo jumbo, and precisely because it is. So, this is a wine that I have never had, and when I say wine, I mean both the grape and the wine. So, Halfpenny is a winery based out of Bobbington, out in England. Bacchus is a grape that is technically, I could be wrong about this, but I think I'm pretty right. It is a cross between a Sauvignon and Riesling cross that has then been crossed with Müller-Thurgau. So you get Sauvignon and Riesling. It has a baby, and then that baby is then mated with Müller-Thurgau, and then out comes Bacchus. Which seems kind of appropriate because Bacchus is also the god of sex and alcohol in the Romans or in the Greeks. I forget which one exactly.
I know all those words.
Yes. But so I am fairly excited about this because England, well, I mean, the UK in general, it's like as global warming progresses, England is going to be a pretty hot commodity for sparkling wine and quality white wine. So the only other country that grows Bacchus is Germany. And even in Germany, it goes by a whole different name that I cannot remember how to pronounce right now. So let me get you some of Bobbington's finest in your glass.
Yeah, I got this.
The corkscrew. That's an easy... Ooh, I like this. How it smells already.
Oh, yeah, let me get a big old whiff.
This smells like green apples and like flowers and shit.
Yeah. I was getting pears.
Bro, this looks like water. Boozy.
Gracias.
Boozy water. And, man, that smells really, really nice.
I'm liking that color. Liking how clear it is. This is nice.
Ooh, it smells kind of flowery. Okay, so Riesling, we both know and love. Floral, perfumey, zesty. Sauvignon emphasizes more of a white flower. So Sauvignon on its own comes out of Germany, specifically I think it's the Rheingau and the Rheinhessen. But Sauvignon on its own has just these beautiful like limestone, fragrant white flowers. Think of roses and chamomile kind of scent. Zesty as fuck acidity. Müller-Thurgau is weird. So Müller-Thurgau, the best way I can describe it, it smells like mayonnaise, but it tastes like oranges. Ah, physics, my friend. This is what you call fluid dynamics. How can Victor pop the density?
Stop with your density.
To get rid of that, all you have to do is bring just a tiny bit of liquid, and there it goes.
Oh, thank you, Victor.
Oh my god, I can't tell you how many beers I drank in physics just to understand that.
My ADHD is now cured.
Now, do you want me to make it go back there again? No, I won't do that. Okay. That'll complicate you there. But anywho, Prost, cheers. Or as they say in England, I don't know what they say in England. What do they say? Cheers?
Ooh, they do love cheers as well.
To Bobbington.
To Bonnie. To Bacchus.
I'm disturbed. This tastes weird. I don't like it.
This is like if
I really don't like it.
this is like if acidity was a person, and they came up to me and they're just like, "Nah, I promise, I promise. I promise I'm sweet."
This is not good.
It's like what's that? Oh, it's not sweet. Oh wait, it is sweet tart. It's like if it tries to be a sweet tart where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm kind of sour, and then I turn sweet, but the sweet only kind of happens and then it goes away.
You're being too kind. I think it tastes like Alka-Seltzer.
Now, I grew up drinking Alka-Seltzer for, as I referenced earlier before we started recording, I had digestive issues growing up.
Yeah, I know. This has a really weird, I just don't like it.
What is happening?
England,
Sorry, Togo.
England, what the fuck is happening with you, bro? Like, when you have producers like Night Timber, the Sparkling House producer. Nicole, would you like a glass of this?
I don't.
Oh, you don't like it?
Nicole, run.
Just try it. Let's see what you think. Maybe I'm being overly pretentious here.
Nicole's back for a guest tasting.
I like how it smells.
I like how it smells too. Right? Something just doesn't work.
Well, I was also just eating a sour candy.
Yeah, and I just got...
Actually, I want to eat a sour candy and put this in my mouth.
Dude, I was right.
Try it.
I was right with the sweet tarts. It like tries to trick you and be like, oh, I'm kind of sweet, but it's like it never comes though.
No, it has this really weird, I don't know, fake acid kind of flavor, which you would think in Bobbington would not be a factor.
It's like, let's see.
Tell me worse.
Yeah.
I'll finish it.
Nicole's like, it tastes like shit, but I'll drink it.
I'm kind of with it though. Like you're just like, no, but I'm just like, I want to keep drinking it for some reason.
Oh my God, you're like my cousin. So I remember one time when I used to work at my previous employer, that was before we met, I had bought this Sauvignon Blanc. And I remember I poured him a glass first, which you should never do as a server. You always pour yourself a sample first, so that way you know if it's good or not. And he smelled it. He's like, dude, this smells hella good. And I'm like, really? And then I poured myself a glass. Dude, the first thing I smelled was fucking tomatoes and bell peppers in a Sauvignon Blanc. And then he's like, this smells like pizza. And I'm like, it does. It does. And I tasted it. Straight up tasted like spinach and basil. Yeah.
It's like tap water forward.
With a little bit of like, I don't want to say Alka-Seltzer, but it reminds me of like that residual flavor of Alka-Seltzer. Sodium bicarbonate?
Now, we don't normally read the bottle, but let me read this.
Yeah, there. That's what it is. It's baking soda. That's what that shit tastes like.
Bicarbonate is baking soda, so you were right.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, why does it taste like cookies gone bad?
Now, we normally don't do this, but let's see what they're trying to do. It says here, style. Aromas of, well, let's get past the aromas. Refreshing acidity with flavors of apple, lemon zest, pear, nettle with a lingering finish.
Metal?
Nettle.
Oh.
Nettle?
Say I tasted
Nettle.
Only in England will they put nettle as a tasting note. That is a really weird random weed that grows here in the States.
Yeah.
All right, Victor.
Here you go.
Your experience versus the back of the bottle. What do you think?
I've never had a Bacchus, and I've also never had a wine from Bobbington, England. But based on my quality to, I don't know, based on my rendition of whether this wine is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being immensely pleasurable to drink, 0 being something I'll avoid like Miami Pinot Noir, This is definitely pushing a 1.
Oh wow.
I might give it a 2, maybe a 2.
This smells like I'm about to start my laundry.
And again, that's why. So that's the only thing this wine has going for it, is it actually smells good. It smells like green apples and it smells like flowers. But then you taste it and you're like, toothpaste, baking soda.
I still haven't gotten you to drink my plastic jug sangria. What's better?
Oh, are we doing this here? I don't smell anything.
It's just called sangria.
It's just called sangria. No brand.
No one's claimed it.
I mean, the color is there. I mean, you can't really judge a sangria for much just because it's shit wine that you add sugar and flavorings to.
I've had better sangria, but it was a gift, so it tastes better.
You know, this is bland as fuck, but it's not offensive. This just tastes like watered down fruit juice. It doesn't taste like alcohol. So on my scale of 1 to 10, this is a solid 5. I give that a 1.
Plastic jug sangria wins!
Yeah, nameless plastic jug sangria is significantly better than... Now, this would be good if you had like a cup of sugar and like a whole bunch of other fruit juices and just keep it for its alcohol.
Just have it like a fruit plate.
Yeah, I mean, you could always add like lemon juice to offset that nasty toothpaste flavor.
I've never heard of adding lemon juice or anything to wine.
So anytime so technically a sangria is literally just crap wine that you add flavorings and juice to. So you can make both red sangria, which usually is a lot more...
See, I thought you meant adding lemon juice to the wine you brought.
It probably would make it taste better. I mean, there's nothing that can make that wine worse.
Wow.
There's really nothing. I mean, that wine is doing the bare minimum to be...
This is a Course Controller's first. A featured wine that's just like...
crap. Yeah.
It's almost a showstopper. We're like, what do we do now?
No, it's not a showstopper. It just shows you that England, you know, Mother Nature is not being kind to you for all your colonizing behavior. This is the retribution. You think you're doing some shit right? No, you got it wrong. Try again.
What do you think will happen if I do this?
You know, I wouldn't do it. At first, I was all like, yeah, do it. But then I'm like, you're going to ruin the taste of the monster.
I do want to respect the monster.
Yeah, I mean, the monster actually tastes good. This white wine is... You know, it's just...
Don't worry, Halfpenny. I'll keep drinking it.
Yeah, Halfpenny, this is not your doing. Mother Nature is not kind to you. I would say... So this is my free unsolicited wine advice to wine growers around the world. If you have a really cold, terrible climate, just please plant Riesling. Riesling takes the abuse. It takes the snowfall. It takes the freezing cold weather. Oh, is that the...
It's Maria Sola, actually.
Alrighty, so let's get this. Yeah, so... Cheers to this, Maria Lola. I mean, your sangria beats out quality, allegedly, Halfpenny, Staffordshire. Wine that was established in 1983. Oh, my God. Ugh. It's a plastic bottle. Oh, my God. Damn, these guys really are up in their quality. Damn. So it was... a French sangria. Interesting. 1.5 liters. Oh, cheers. Oh, here, cheers.
Very good. Very good.
That's been open for a month, and it still tastes good?
Yeah.
Hey, that's our Corks Controller winner for today. This has been open less than 10 minutes, and it tastes like shit.
What? A month?
My favorite part, doesn't have an expiration date.
3 weeks at most.
And you could buy this at www.adv-inter.com.
There you go. There you go. Victor, shall we continue with the show?
Yes. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You go first today.
Alrighty.
I'm thinking.
So, I had a wine, not Halfpenny, although Halfpenny could fit the bill at this point, but it won't. So I had a wine this past week. I didn't have a lot of it, just a tiny little sip, but it was enough to make me think, yeah, I've had my fair share of this wine for the next year. This wine, I would not say is a bad wine. I think it's this one. Yeah. Oh, I did it. Yay. So this specific wine is not a bad wine. It's a very, very well-known wine. It's a wine that I would say maybe 70% of wine drinkers in the United States have already had. And they probably have some on their shelf right now. Where to begin? So I go to this little luncheon/dinner, and I see this bottle on the counter, and I'm like, please, God, no. Please, God, no. Please, God, no. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Victor, how many lunches are you going to go where you disagree with the bottle on the table?
A lot. I also, how do I phrase this? When I'm asked for my feedback, I always keep it nice. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing. It's like, you don't want to be rude to somebody, but when they ask me, would you buy this? I straight up say no. So I see this bottle. It's a black bottle with the red lettering. You might know what it is. Yeah, I'm just like, please, God, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I do not want this. And sure enough, the bottle gets grabbed, it gets opened, and I get handed a glass, and I'm like, oh my God, fucking shoot me now. When I tell you this wine is so boring, so one-dimensional, just absolutely like the picture-perfect definition of what you think an American would drink, wine-wise. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Justin Cabernet.
Wow. Justin, how could you?
It's not how could you, it's why. Why does this thing exist? I'm not even kidding, like why? Like, this wine is so mediocre. It is so average. There are literally millions of other Justins out in the world that I would rather drink. Mm-hmm. But for all of its faults, Justin has, and this is where I got to give props, led many people to explore other wines. Eventually, they'll be like, oh, I like Cabernet. I should probably go try some more. So thank you, Justin, for that. That's all things we need from me, though.
Thanks for bringing a springboard.
Exactly. But I would say that Justin is such a boring wine. Not a horrible wine. I don't like it, but a lot of people do. So my official pairing request for you this week is like this wine that we just had. Disappointing to you, but other people would probably say, I like this for a multitude of different reasons. Mm-hmm. So essentially, what is something classic but boring?
Classic, boring, maybe a springboard effect.
Exactly. That people just seem to love, but once you actually know about it, you're like, what the fuck was I doing? It doesn't make you regret things. It just makes you think like, damn, I've gone a long way. Mm-hmm. So,
man,
what do you got, my good sir?
So, earlier when my girlfriend was hanging out with us during the show,
The pregame,
she did suggest Fortnite, and I would say,
wait, that's the one where the little kids are dancing, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I would argue that unlike Justin, Epic Games, who is the publisher developer, tries literally by each season of the game, like every 3 or 4 months or so, they don't just put on a new map or add some characters. They literally change the rules of the game, where it's just where one season it's just classic third person shooting, the last one survives as the winner, and but the next season it's just that's weird. They gave everyone cars to drive.
In Fortnite?
Yeah. And then the next season, they're like, okay, now it's now there's elements to the level where there's a giant hurricane that can either be a disadvantage or an advantage to any of your skirmishes throughout the map. And there'll be one where it's just there's a end seasoned calamity that's going to happen where at a certain time in real time, at the end of the season, the map will explode. It's mostly cinematic, so it's not too interactive, but the map will literally explode, and then when the new season starts, they reset the entire thing. So unlike Justin, they try. They keep it fresh and hip, and all the Spider-Man.
Justin gets a lot of influencers to post their stuff.
So I would add a modifier to it. I would say people who don't have or just don't like readily have access to like a traditional and or modern video game, they're probably playing Fortnite on their phone.
Fortnite?
Fortnite, yeah. They're probably playing Fortnite on their Android phone. I hear iOS versions are coming back thanks to some lawsuits against Apple. But yeah, they're probably playing on a phone, and I would say that's like a nice like because the phone version still has all those like new additions, but it's like so far down, like I would say capabilities in terms of like graphics and like actual physical buttons and controls because they're all touchscreen, that like playing it on either like a Switch or like their brother's Xbox are going to immediately make them go like, why would I was playing this on my phone? Like there are people who choose to anyways because obviously your phone's always on you, but I'm sure there's so much conversion when they actually get like, you know, their sister's PC or a laptop for school or like their brother's Xbox, like I said earlier, and then they're finally just like, you know, I should probably maybe I'll go on Facebook Marketplace and see if I can get like last version's Xbox for like $100, and then they start playing some new games, and then they'll realize
that's a springboard effect.
Then they'll realize Game Pass exists. Then they'll try new games, and then they'll realize there's some games are better on different consoles, or like some consoles have exclusives, and like maybe that'll be their new hobby.
Aw, so maybe you do recommend Fortnite to people that they're barely... Should I play Fortnite?
You should try Fortnite for sure.
Ugh.
It'd be hilarious to watch you play some Fortnite.
I was going to say it'd be hilarious to make me play Fortnite.
Other than that, like, I think this is kind of a controversial answer, but I would say like probably just any Nintendo game, really.
That's a hot take, my good sir. Don't you dare slander Nintendo.
Because they're not boring. They're just a lot of people's first games. Like someone
I would actually disagree and say that would be either Pac-Man or Angry Birds.
Somewhere right now on this blue and green planet that we call Earth, there is someone getting a hand-me-down 3DS, and then
I forgot about those.
And they're gonna play like an old 2D style Mario.
Oh my god, my little sister used to play Cooking Mama.
And they're like, yeah, exactly. And then they're like, this is fun. And then they just start like hunting down all the other carts that you can buy for your little DS, and then they just go, hold up, I like video games.
And then that's when that happens.
That's when that happens. Although
I'll allow that.
I will say I have met people who are just like, I'm not sure I ever played a video game, or I'm not really much of a gamer. And then like the more you talk to them, they're just like, oh dude, I had like 20 games for my Game Boy and I'd never put it down. And I'm like, you're a gamer. It's just like, well, I used to play. I don't play. It's like, but to me, I'm just like, no, you're a gamer forever. You've played multiple games for hours on end. That's a gamer to me.
That is when I was little and would play Nintendo 64 pretty much all day, Saturdays and Sundays, and then be upset when I had to go to school on Monday.
There you go, you're a gamer.
Deep down inside me, there's a gamer waiting to be unleashed, but I gotta drink better stuff than Halfpenny Green to get me there. But yeah, I think that's a pretty damn good pairing.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on too much quicker, I do want to interject and ask you for your hot take on these goddamn goggles I keep on seeing on YouTube commercials. The Pixel goggles. No, not the Pixel goggles. They are the Google goggles or whatever the fuck they are. They are the, oh my god, the Metaverse goggles. No, they're not that. They're, you know, for them not letting me skip their fucking ads, I don't pay attention. So whoever makes these goddamn goggles, if you're listening, I don't even pay attention to you. I just fucking sit there loathing who the fuck you are, wondering why the fuck is my video not playing, and I'm not going to buy your product. But what's your take?
Well, I mean, first of all, I would love to see the advertising data that says, here's the percentage of ads that literally no one pays attention to, and yet we still invest billions of dollars in advertising. Anyways.
I wonder what they're going to do on the Super Bowl if they're going to advertise on that too. $8 million.
Like it's probably just enough eyes where they're just like, yeah, next year we're going even bigger.
So let's start with, apparently I got wrong who makes it. It's not Metaverse and it's not Google. It's who?
It is Apple.
No, not my phone people.
Apple Computers has came up with a new category device that, once again, already exists, already has features, but when they come out of it, it's brand new. It's magical. You never had this experience before. And it's just like, you can just say you did it better. Like, you can just say that and everyone would kind of be happier with your advertising. But anyways. But yeah, the Apple Vision Pro came out February 2nd.
How much is it?
It is $3,500. Let me repeat that. $3,500. And that's the base model.
I could buy so many sardines for that.
So many sardines. and you know what? If you've bought the headset and go into a free app that lets you eat virtual sardines, you'll have less value than if you just bought one can of sardines.
Can those Google or those Apple Vision Pros feed me like actual food?
Maybe if you go into the web browser and like put down some stock and then like a few years later took some money out, maybe then it can technically feed you.
But like I can't open an app and eat on that app and have it feed me physically. Then what the fuck is the goddamn point?
I have no idea.
Technology is supposed to make my life easier, not harder.
I'm sure for some rich asshole out there, it's making their poops more entertaining.
Like, what do you even do? Like, I'm just looking at the screen like, oh, yeah, let me open my Angry Birds instead of just opening up on my phone. And now I have these stupid goggles that if someone breaks into my house, I'm not going to know who the fuck they are because guess what? I can't see who the fuck they are.
Well, that's the fun part, Victor. See, we're lucky we're a small podcast because if Apple were to get a whiff of us calling it a VR headset, they'd probably send someone to assassinate us. That's not how they want you to talk about
We'll shut up for
headset.
money. No, just kidding.
Send us a free one or sponsor us. I'll say anything you want about the Vision
Yes.
Pro.
Send us a $10,000 check. We'll be happy.
Very, very nice.
And then we'll become Apple fanboys. You will become an Apple fanboy.
Amen.
For money, anything can happen.
For money, I'm anyone's whore.
Did you hear that, Nicole? He said, for money, he's anyone's whore. Speaking about Apple, that is.
Oh, come on. If they mailed me a free Vision Pro, you'd try it. You'd try it. If they mailed us a free Vision Pro, you'd try it.
I would try to be a whore.
No, you would try the Vision Pro.
Okay, yeah, I would try it.
Damn, that could have gone south real quick.
That's what makes you wow. But anyways, and so what was I gonna say? You guys distracted a bit. Gosh, I really forgot what I was gonna say.
You were saying that you're happy that we're a little tiny podcast because the VR, blah, blah.
Oh, yes. They do not want you to think about it as a VR machine. They want you to think of it as spatial computing.
What the fuck is that?
And that's because they don't want you to think of it as like some secondary niche thing. They want you to think of it as your new laptop. As a thing.
Oh my God. Like another technology thing I had to carry about.
As a thing that will let you do your work, let you do your face or audio calls, as a thing that'll let you do your work, as a thing that'll be your entertainment, your TV, your streaming device, your everything.
But I have to charge it.
Yes, you do.
My TV's plugged in, bro. I could turn that shit on whenever the fuck I want.
But can your current TV expand to be like a 110-inch display?
Why the fuck would I want to do that?
Because for every pixel that covers up your actual reality, you can just escape that much more.
So I have to charge it though. That's the bullshit part. Oh my God. It's not self-generating.
Yeah. And the second thing...
For that amount of money, I thought it would like fucking take UV rays from the sun and charge itself.
You would hope so. And the second thing about it is that its initial default state is not to block all of your vision. It has high resolution cameras and displays. The displays for your eyes and obviously the cameras for the outside. And it has this pass-through video that makes you feel like you're not wearing a headset. Even though once you've gone through the oohs and ahs of a nicely lit, controlled room, then you realize, actually, it isn't that magical. There is a display literal millimeters from my eyeballs. That gets a little choppy when you're in a kind of dark room.
No.
Yeah, but like it's supposed to make you feel like you can still see everything. It's just that there are windows of apps and browsers and TV that's just floating.
So if our lovely, faithful viewers had the funds to buy such a contraption, would you recommend they buy it?
I'd recommend they buy it if they love cutting edge, but they do have to temper their expectations. They should know that this is a Gen 1
Tell me
product.
this shit ain't gonna wipe my ass.
It's not going to wipe your ass. It's a Gen 1 product. Not to say that it's not an impressive one, but you need to realize that it is a camera and it is displays and it is a thing where
What happens if I drop it?
what happens if you drop it? There's a fascinating video online of a guy literally dropping it multiple times and it actually does okay. It actually does okay. Even though it's like a giant curved screen, glass on the front, it doesn't crack that easily. Now, if you like spike it, of course. But if you drop it, it might be okay.
I can't play football with it.
Yeah.
I can play football with Nintendo.
Yeah.
I can throw a switch around. I'll be fine, right?
But it's definitely not ready to be your primary computer. You definitely have to be okay with it actually not being magic.
So it's just a fancy, expensive contraption to make your life more complicated.
Yes.
So take that with a grain of salt.
You know what's funny? The funniest thing about it, and this is the last thing we'll talk about it, is that if you decide to have, because FaceTime where like, you and maybe your sister are like video calling each other on the phone. Since how are you supposed to do that when your phone, laptop, computer, TV is on your face?
Oh, hell no.
What it does is that it prompts you to take it off, turn around, point the cameras at your face, and recreate a digital persona of you. It essentially turns you into a video game NPC, to which it displays that instead of your actual real you. And like
I don't like that.
The bottom pointing camera tries to sync your lips. The inside cameras track your eyes so it knows where you're looking at all times, and it uses that data to try to like recreate what your mouth is doing, what your eyes are doing, like your facial gestures, and display it on this NPC of you talking to your sister.
Well, I'm taking a shit. Wow. Technology.
Your sister can't tell you taking a shit.
Instead of flying cars in 2024, we have a fancy goggle.
Only she hears the plop plopping while she know you're shitting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Apple tried to do a good job to recreate that sound, right? Well, anywho, so yeah, I just wanted to get your little hot take on that because I know that's been irritating me on my YouTube. How do I do this again? This is like, there we go. That's what I was missing.
Victor's learning.
I hate technology. In case you can't tell, right? But so shall we move on with what you got me looking to pair with?
Okay. So
You've been really excited about this. Is it a video game? Is it a book? I confuse them.
it does involve video games. Oh, you're talking about the thing I was excited about. No, I was excited about my new book I'm reading. Although it's not new. I had it for like a year. I just decided to pop it open. But that's next episode.
Ooh,
I'm teasing
okay.
again. I'm teasing again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Blood, Sweat, and Tears by Jason Schreier is the book about being on the inside of the video game and shit, what it's like to make video games. But that's next episode. It's a fun read. I'm nowhere close to even breaking like chapter 1, but I'm not telling you, it's the first time in a long time, the first like 40 or so pages like encapsulated me. I'm just like, I can't, like, I'm mad. I'm actually, unlike my last book where I'm just like, please let my lunch be over because this is depressing.
Oh, yes, that one.
This book is just like my watch timer goes off and I'm like, no. God damn it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna speed it up before this next week's over. I'm gonna be reading it before, during, and after.
Victor the Bookworm.
But this time, for this episode, I'm working on a project that I'll keep secret for now, but I'll at least talk about its subject, which is the entire company known as Xbox. Now, Xbox.
I got a one for that.
Xbox, we know it's green. It's a green wine.
I thought it was black.
Well, yeah, it's black and green. It's like their color scheme. Xbox, as everyone who's a gamer might know, is well known for, kind of spearheading new game IPs such as Halo and Forza and Fable and stuff like that. Can't forget about Fusion Frenzy. Am I right, gamers? Fusion Frenzy, and stuff. And they've entered their, well, there's a lot of technicalities, but I will say they're the last major player to enter the modern video game space as it was right now. Because obviously Nintendo and Sony have been along for a long time. Philips was in it for a bit. Toshiba was in it for a little bit. Sega used to be a console manufacturer, but they just make games now. They just make the Yakuzas and the Sonic and stuff like that. And these guys entered on the 6th generation of consoles with their original Xbox, pitting itself against the PS2 and the GameCube, and stuff like that. And they have quite a fascinating history. Since pretty much the very beginning, they've been the industry loser. They sell really well. Everyone loves them. They're clearly still a healthy brand now.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to sales, they would get there. They'll get like really close. Like the closest they've ever gotten was the Xbox 360, the console after the original Xbox, where it came in like literally a few days early before the PS3 launched. Or was it maybe it was a month or so, but it cost less. It was more easy to develop for. It had more accessories. It seemed more gamer friendly at the time because the PS3 at the time was just like Bluetooth and like expensive games and very bulky and like expensive controllers to replace and stuff. And Xbox is just like, our stuff is cheap and you can plug in any wired headset you want and it works and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And they were in the lead, like the new player in the lead for a long time. And then that's when PS3 is just like, all right.
Knock it up.
I know, fuck it around. Re-release a console revision, lower the price by like $200 over the span of 3 years.
But did the other people get the refund for the drop in price?
They did.
Oh, that would make me a customer.
But like, if you're close enough to the purchase date of the price drop, though, of course, and stuff like that, and then like coming out with exclusives like Uncharted and the Last of Us series, skyrocketed them up from being behind Xbox to in front of them, and then suddenly that generation ended with Xbox once again being in last.
Oh, Xbox! What the hell, man?
I mean, no one's gonna win against the Wii, but they didn't beat Sony that time. So they were like, okay, this has to be the console where we beat PlayStation or we'll always be last. And so they came out with the Xbox One, but they botched the launch because they marketed an always online console that always checks if you own your games.
Why? No one's going to want to play that.
There was a problem in previous generations with the PSP and like the DS and stuff like that, where it's just like people are like pirating games left and right. So there's a lot of worry about that. And so they're just like, we don't trust you. We don't trust our fan base. And the fan base went, well, fuck you.
Yeah, I would too.
And they went, never mind. And so because they had a botched like this is their unveil. This is when like their Xbox One was supposed to come out in like less than a year. And for an entire company to be like, we have to change strategies right now. Obviously, it's not going to have a very fun launch because like you're rolling back features that are supposed to be like interconnected with the console.
Yes.
And then suddenly like you have a discombobulated like OS and like things just don't like, it's just all bad. And so from then on forth, Xbox was just like, let's fire everybody. Including Don Matrick, who was like the pioneer behind that previous strategy. And let's get in Phil Spencer, who was just like, suddenly became like the Don of the gaming. Like he just came in with like his pimp ring and like being like, let me make you an offer, commercials, and like whatever, all this stuff. And he's just like, you want to be on Xbox, you want to give us time exclusives. We're gonna start buying up studios left and right. We're gonna unleash Game Pass, which is, as you may remember, Victor, is that reoccurring subscription where you get a catalog of hundreds and hundreds of games that you can download whenever you want, kind of like Netflix. And they're just like, let's just keep buying them up till we get to the point where we have so many gaming studios producing games that no one will ever say Xbox doesn't have games ever again. To which I find it interesting. Again, secret project. I'll try not to reveal too much. I'm not sure if they've done much since they bought those companies. So, Victor, what would you say pairs with a company who is the newest player in an industry, and they had so much potential and so much fanfare and so much, like, we all trust them, but they can never quite crack that mold of being a top player in the industry?
Oh, I got a dime a dozen on that one. But my favorite example to what you were talking about is going to probably narrow down to 3 of them. And I want to say, I'm trying to think, what will prevent me from getting sued? I need to really think about how I'm going to phrase this.
Not just that, Victor. We need sponsors one day.
Yeah. You know what? Bevan, I'm sorry. But it's you.
Damn.
Bevan is this tiny little winery up in the Napa Valley. They have access to these amazing vineyards. And I mean amazing vineyards.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if your grapes are already like perfect, how can you fuck this up? You know how you fuck it up? By pricing your wines so goddamn high.
Like the Xbox One.
And then you pretty much exclude everyone who would want to try a new up-and-coming winery. And then eventually you switch to advertising only to high rollers. But you don't really have the same chops as the other ones. Let me give you a good example.
Like you don't have much weight to throw around.
Yeah, not just that, but it's just, oh my God, where to begin? Alrighty, so Bevens Cellars up in Napa Valley was started by Russell and Victoria Bevan. Very nice people. Their winery is definitely tiny, but what happens with, oh my God, so Russell Bevan himself is not a very good marketer. He, when he is out doing tastings, he can say some things that just don't really... I'm not even talking like SJW or PC stuff. It's more like, I'm not going to say it on air.
Okay.
But he can say some pretty bad things. So that's already problem number 1. Mm-hmm. Problem number 2 is that he takes grapes from like the Ritchie Vineyard in, I think it's Sonoma Coast. Or even a better example would be the, I think it would be Ritchie. So the Ritchie Vineyard, let me give you a prime example. So a winery that knows how to do Ritchie Chardonnay is Ramey. Ramey out of Healdsburg, actually in Sonoma County. They do a Ritchie Chardonnay and they sell it for like about $55-$65. That wine is so crisp, so clean, extremely age-worthy, very lean, very mineral. And then you go buy Bevens, almost $100 a bottle. Mm-hmm. For some reason, unfiltered, which already is a little weird. Not to say that unfiltered wines are bad. I mean, there are a lot of unfiltered wines that are good. It's just, I feel that he uses like cheesecloth to strain his wines versus other wineries will like actually use a proper mesh strainer. Mm-hmm. So the particles you get in other wines are very tiny versus his. I'm just like, what's this glop? Mm-hmm. So his wines are always expensive. I can tell you this right now. I have never purchased a Bevan wine. Never. And I don't plan to either.
Sorry, Bevan.
Even with a discount. That's how bad it got. So, and that's just with their introductory wines. That's problem number 1, is that if you're a newish winery or a small winery, you don't want to price out your, entry-level customers because they're the ones that will probably be like, oh, new winery, let me give this a chance, Yeah,
right.
It's like when your wine is equally priced or more expensive than a William Salem Chardonnay, that's when you know you got a problem. So let's just start with that. Now, after that, there are the illustrious single vineyards and blends. So there's like the Tench. There's also the Sugarloaf. There's also the Tench, Sugarloaf. There is the, which one am I forgetting? The Vixen Block and a few others. So Napa Valley Cabernet is going to be expensive. The grapes cost money. But again, these grapes are for the most part perfect. Mm-hmm. You got to be a very self-centered character to do to these grapes what Bevan does to them. When you taste a wine from Bevan, it's like you're drinking oil. It is so saturated, so gloppy. The tannins are off the charts, like unbalanced. The acidity isn't there. There's no structure to the wine. On the finish, it just tastes like straight vanilla. And again, you're paying $250, $300 a bottle for this.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And let me give you a good point of comparison. Domaine de Chevalier from Bordeaux, that is spelled Domaine de and then Chevalier. Their top line wine is the Red Bordeaux. Averages about $120 a bottle. Blows out Bevan left and right. The Domaine de Chevalier Bordeaux are all about elegance, balance, purity, and fragrance. Mm-hmm. Like, if I were to bring one on the show, you'd be like, what the fuck, Victor? Like, this is like the best one I've ever had. And you can usually get discounts on it. So buy enough, you could probably get it for like $80, $90.
Oh, nice.
But Bevan, it's like every time I see one, I'm just like, you got all the elements. Why aren't you actually paying attention to what people want, damn it? Mm-hmm. It's like you don't have, mind you, they'll say, oh yeah, we sell out every single year, so, demand, whatever. And it's like, great. But when all those old people die, what you going to do? Because like I said this right now, no young people are buying Bevan. First of all, because they can't afford it. Two, because Bevan has these... Again, Russell Bevan is just a character. Offends a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But then number three, it's like his winemaking is just like the opposite of what the younger generation wants. So he sells very well to like, old people. But it's like, give it 15 years. What you going to do, Bevan? Your clientele's going to die. And you are too. So, to fit Xbox's theme there. So when Bevan first started, he was a no-namer. Mm-hmm. Goes out, gets a lot of good connections, whatever, and then that's how he gets connection to these vineyards. So he had access to them, but for some reason just didn't know how to market them very well. And then he met his cash cow. Blur that out. And that put him on the market. Mm-hmm. Now, what happened after that is that, again, you had the opportunity. He prices his stuff so goddamn high that it's like even selling it was a slog. Like just what the hell, man? It's like his Ontology starts at $120 a bottle. It's just not no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So, and then it's like, I'm pretty sure that he gets feedback. I know that I would give my, fair choice of words when I was out there and say, this is great, but this is just too damn expensive. They'd be like, well, people buy it anyways. And it's like, okay, great like that's, if it's making you money, great. But eventually this model's just not going to work. So I don't know what Bevan's future holds, but I want no part in it. Yeah. I won't go as far to say that I want to watch it burn. But if I'm in, the city and the castle next over, I'll be like, oh, what a pity. No love lost. I'm not going to say I wish it on them, but I'm just like, another Napa Valley Cabernet that I didn't care about bites the dust.
Yeah, like, and Xbox is interesting that way because, like, unlike being like uncaring if anything were to happen to Xbox, you can't help but being fascinated about the direction it's going. Where it's just like, okay, there is hints of your.
Well, the Game Pass thing is a smart idea. It's
a smart idea. But since the beginning, people have been questioning its sustainability because it's like hundreds of games that everyone would be paying at least $20 each for, given on one price per month. And it's just like, well, yeah, because it's supposed to be like millions of people paying all the time. That's how a recurring subscription works. And plus, it's based on how much people are downloading your games. And that's how like they kind of divvy it up. But even then, it's just like, what is going on? And plus, there's questions of Microsoft, the parent company of Xbox, becoming monopolistic to the point because they're not just buying developers, they're buying entire publishers who already own like 10 studios plus under their house anyways, that even the United States and the EU are starting to sue them and being like, what are you doing? This is kind of monopolistic, kind of like back when you were doing with Windows.
Yeah. So I had a winery of sorts in mind for that, but I'm like, no, that'll get us sued right away. I can't bring that one up. Not to say that Bevan can't sue us, but it's like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, your wines don't age well. Like, I've had wines from the early 2010s, like 12, 13, 11. Just absolute shit wines, man.
Yeah.
They just don't age well. They don't taste good on release. They don't age incredibly well. They get high scores somehow, but...
Yeah. It's like, I was just trying to find that equivalent of being like, it's doing well, but like, what's going to happen when that doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, it's like for Bevan, it's like, what are you going to do when your old-ass clientele dies off?
And I mean, it's not like PlayStation and Nintendo have issues either. It's just like, it's like PlayStation, you're still doing the old business model of selling very, very expensive games for the same price. I mean, they bumped it to 70, but it's essentially the same price. Like, what is $10 going to do? So it's just like,
yeah, I mean, it's like,
issues.
I have like other wineries that, so like, I would say that on par with Bevan is like Continuum.
Mm-hmm.
So Continuum is priced about the same price point, anywhere between like 170 to like $230, 200, almost 300. The thing with Continuum though is that if you know anything about wine, if you had the chance to buy Continuum or Bevan, you would buy the Continuum without even looking. Continuum is just one wine, a blend of a few different, sites on Pritchard Hill. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, that's it. So you are a whole winery making one expensive wine. I don't know.
Wait, one?
Just one wine. It's the Continuum wine. Now, you're sourcing it from a really great site where they grow expensive grapes, where you have a lot of famous neighbors, and you have a winery. It's not just a wine made at a winery. It's a winery that makes just one wine. The wine is good. It's not always overpriced. Sometimes you can buy them at like 180, 150. Mm-hmm. It's great wine, but I always question like, Continuum, you're not French Bordeaux where you have hundreds and hundreds of years to just have the right to make one wine like Chateau Margaux. Actually, no, even Chateau Margaux makes like 4 different ones. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of like Domaine de Chevalier. No, Domaine de Chevalier makes a few of them. I'm trying to think of like, okay, Petrus is so far up its ass. Petrus makes one wine, usually 100% Merlot, if not like 90, 95, 80 sometimes. But they charge about like, I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 a bottle. But Petrus has been around for hundreds of years.
Okay.
And that wine actually ages incredibly well. So they have a track record for commanding that price and being able to make one wine. Versus Continuum, I'm like, you're doing good. Your wine's great, but you might want to expand your operations a little bit just to, soften the blow. And then there are other people like, oh my God. Okay, so this specific winery, I almost don't want to name drop, but I feel like I'm going to have to because there's just no other way around it. Oh my God. I'm not going to name drop them. I'm not. Okay, so with this winery, let's just call it the winery for now.
Okay.
They are on the opposite end.
Be jealous, viewers. Victor's going to tell me afterwards.
This specific winery, I think, currently has 27 different wines in production. Mm-hmm. How many different pots can you stir at once and make sure every single one is good?
Oh,
not all of them.
I can't even do one personally.
So it's like with this specific winery, I'm always like, I love what you're doing. I really do. But my God, one day you're going to fuck up big time. And it's like, yeah, it's one bad wine, but that's going to ruin your reputation, man. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the wine world isn't perfect. I'm trying to think of like one winery that has done it well. Oh, actually, I will say this. Clos du Val. I think we've talked about them before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So Clos du Val is pretty cool because Clos du Val got started, I think, in the 60s, 70s by Bernard Portet, and I forget the actual founder's name. But anywho, so back then, they made wine for those people, Mm-hmm. And then come the 2000s, Robert Parker happens, and they don't change their winemaking style. And they end up getting low scores and whatnot. They're like, fuck you, whatever, we're going to stay doing this, What they didn't do, though, is that they didn't stick to that demographic. Clos du Val, as the years have gone by, has actually changed, not their winemaking. The winemaking's the same. But they have changed their selling lines to people.
There you go.
So before they used to sell to the boomers, then they moved on to what is the generation above us?
X, I think.
Is it Gen X? I thought Gen X was the weird ones, the little ones. No, that's Gen Z.
That's Gen Z.
So then they switched to Gen X. And now they're catering more to millennials. So it's like they're understanding that, okay, our wine is good. We have nothing to worry about there. But the message that we're sending to customers is not the same. So they understand that, hey, money is changing hands from boomers to Gen X to millennials. We need to change with that. So before it used to be that Clos du Val, their tasting used to be a lot more simple, straightforward. Now they actually do more experiences, because that's what millennials like. They like the experience. So now when you walk in there, they remodel their tasting room. So it looks more chic, more modern. But the wine, again, has not changed. That stays the same, which is good for them, you know. But it's like you walk in there, and then it's like you're served a little crudité platter. The hummus is vegan. They're highlighting the specific things that would be a problem at a different winery, but they're not for them. And then you sit down, and it's a very leisurely, just like you go there and you feel like you're eating fine dining, but it's casual. It's weird. And it's like the one thing I could say about Clos du Val is that their style of wine has literally remained constant. That has never changed. And that's, I think, the one thing they did do right over all this time is that they knew their product was good. They wouldn't raise the prices and they wouldn't decrease them. They stayed the same. And now they're doing great. The last time I was there, I just casually asked, like, hey, how many of your club members are like under 30? They're like, oh, you'd be surprised, quite a bit. Every time I go tasting there, I rarely see old people.
Wow.
It's usually people around like a little older than me or a little younger. If you go to any other winery, it's almost always old people.
That's awesome.
So that's something that I don't know what gaming corporation has that. I don't think any corporation for gaming has that kind of thing going on.
No.
But once they crack the code, they'll be making money.
We're just old because we don't let go, but the messaging, I feel like in the industry stays sort of the same. Like, obviously we had trends of like being kind of alpha and sometimes kind of sexist and sometimes just be like, you're a man child, but like you're cool about it. And it's just like they cut all that stuff out. That's like the only thing the game industry's done. It's still for.
But I mean, I think
like
that,
enthusiast
you know,
thing.
if Xbox could crack that code, then I think they would be good. Like, to me, even in my head, the quality of Clos du Val's wines has never been questioned. These things can age decades upon decades upon decades. One of the best wines I ever had was the 1975, 1976, 1983, 1985. I mean, these wines are now, 40, 50 years old? And they still taste fantastic. And I know that the 2021s and the 2019s and the 2018s are going to age incredibly well. But what Clos du Val really does well is that they figured out, hey, we should change our messaging and cater to the people that are actually spending money. Does that make sense? I feel that Xbox doesn't really pay attention to who's buying. They just more... It would be like as if a winery said, I'm going to control every single thing and do it how I want. I feel like that's what Xbox did. Instead of seeing, how do people want things done? And how can we accommodate that but still make money? And that's something that Xbox didn't do.
Yeah. Not so sure about ages, but Xbox has definitely recognized a little bit of like the console agnostic kind of feelings that gamers have been having. So they're just like, all right, fuck it. If you want to play Xbox games, like boot up your Chromebook, go to xbox.com and just play a game on the cloud, you know, boot up your phone, go on a different console like the Steam Deck. Like,
But are they still at PlayStation's level? No. That's the thing.
I think it's just they're in the same industry, but none of them have the same marketing strategy. In turn, like, I mean, I guess that's what that's good competition.
You heard it here first, y'all. Hire Victor for your marketing strategies for gaming systems.
And I mean, I guess that's like healthy competition, but it's just like I said, PlayStation's like, we're still doing very expensive games along with indies, that are full price games. And Xbox is like, all right, it's like we're gonna have a big catalog that you can buy for one monthly price, and you can play almost kind of everywhere. And Nintendo is just like, it's just work. You'll buy our games, and you'll like it. You'll buy our games 4 times and you'll like it.
That's Josh. You'll buy our wine and you'll like it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, does that conclude our show, Mr. Victor, for today?
I believe it does.
But let's talk quickly about these little props you got up here.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Let's start with this potato. What the hell is this potato shrimp tempura thing?
Nicole's was our set designer for this episode, so I don't know.
That reminds me of like uwu.
I don't know what the hell's going on this table.
It's like an uwu potato.
Monogamy. All I know is that mahogany is
Oh yeah, mahogany's loaded today.
very loaded. I mean, I know my favorite anime movie of all time, Your Name. These are the main characters. Highly recommended if you like I'm gonna say a gender swap, and I'll leave it at that. Victor, how would you feel if you woke up as a woman one day?
What? I don't know what I would feel. That'd be strange.
All right.
Do I keep my mind or do I just...
You do keep your mind.
Oh, I'd be fucking flipping out. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Clearly I'm dreaming. I'm going back to sleep. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Great movie. Fantastic movie.
And then this little kitty.
I have no idea. Nicole,
It's like a good luck cat.
Nicole, you want to explain what you've done to our set? Hello? She has the headphones on.
Oh.
Anyway.
Well, we'll do our due diligence. So we have a cat. We don't know what it does. I think it's like a good luck cat. And then there are these little critters.
Yeah, these are I keep saying astrology. What are these? What are these called again?
Ass.
No.
I thought you said it was a goat.
What is it called when you're born on a month and like you get that sign?
Isn't it your birthday?
These are birthday animals. Very good. And then we got some Percy Jackson books over here. And that's about as much as I know about that. Like I said, I didn't decorate our set today.
Well, I mean, Nicole had some fun. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
But I feel like you had a story about the goat and something else.
That's not even mine. None of this is mine. Only those figures are mine. And this book. Remember, BOCCHI memes only.
BOCCHI. Still don't get it, but it's like the Josh memes.
There you go. Now, Victor, I feel like if you were a winemaker at Bevan, you probably would have left that company and started your own a while ago.
True. Yes.
So my question to you is, I don't know where I was going with this bit. I'm sorry.
Why is that winemaker still there?
Yeah, sure.
So the consulting winemaker there, I will happily say his name. His name is Philippe Melka. So Philippe Melka, I don't like his winemaking style. He consults for a few other famous names in the Napa Valley. I just find the styles of wine that he consults to be just soupy, gloppy, unbalanced fruit bombs.
Sorry, Philippe. I don't know what I'm sorry about, but sure.
And it's like I said, it's like I've never had a wine made by Philippe Melka. Well, so from his personal Melka line, like the Matisse and everything else, I have not had old examples of that, but I've had old Moonsight. I have had old Bevan. Well, old as far as like, like these wines are wineries are relatively new. But they just taste like soy sauce. It's gross.
Ew.
It's like they don't taste good. They don't taste like old Clos du Val. They don't taste like old, Chapelet.
I put soy sauce on my rice. What the fuck?
Yes, I mean, maybe some of those wines will be good on your soy sauce. I mean, on your rice. Actually, you could probably swap out the soy sauce for the rice. For the wine.
Imagine how much of a psychopath I look like if I open a nice steamed white rice and I open a wine and start pouring it.
But, I mean, that kind of plays back to that original thing that, like, the old crowd, really respects Philippe Melka's winemaking. But again, once they die, what's going to happen to Philippe Melka's winemaking? He's going to have to change.
Sorry, Philippe. You're going to have to change, bro.
So Bevan, I don't think is going to change his winemaking style anytime soon. I don't foresee the guy making balanced, delicious wines. Well,
you heard it here first, folks. If you love this show, you'll buy a Clos du Val.
Yes, we are Team Clos du Val here.
And Clos du Val, you can email us, podcast@spiggy.net.
Send us some bottles. We can open them on air. Actually, I think we have already, haven't we?
Have we had one?
Maybe, maybe not. If not, we need to change that.
We should change that. Yeah,
I have a plenty.
Do you now? And but speaking on things that end up on this table, You can also do the email for that. But if you want to support the table and the people behind it, that is ko-fi.com/coursecontrollers.
Yes.
Our,
Yes.
our digital tip jar if you appreciate the show. And I think that's about it.
Big balls Vic over here.
Yeah, man. I got balls, dude.
No, I'm saying because of the gesture you're making, you're like that South Park episode, like you gotta carry them.
I need a wheelbarrow to freaking walk around this place.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I think that's it. All right, everybody. Well, bye-bye, y'all, I think.
subscribe, like, and comment,
Yeah.
please. Especially comment. I love talking to people, so.
Yes.
So there you go.
Hit the like button and share our videos. We're fun.
See you guys next time.
Alrighty.
目指すのはこっちの路線で行こう。